On the 3rd of August. I don't know when people go on vacation, but it makes sense that you'd have them closer together, because then you're here, you're not gonna go on vacation that week. But I don't know. I'm okay with anything.
Right, clearly just a Wesley issue, so it's, I think I'm gonna be here, so.
Do you want to leave it?
I'm good with leaving it.
Trustee Mento.
Yeah, I was trying to remember with our prioritization, what did we do this past year with prioritization? We did the long-range financial plan first and talked about capital stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then did we incorporate that into initiatives, or did we talk about initiatives separately?
Yeah, one of the things we did differently this year is that we tried to deal with our capital and long-range planning, like a lot of our infrastructure projects,
Yeah.
separately and before we went into the initiative process, so they would be distinct and separate from each other, because we didn't want to have redundancy built into that. You'll notice that in the initiative process this year, we actually start that following beginning of May, so that we're also concluding it prior to getting into June. If not June, you would have been meeting every Monday. And other times, once school closes and you guys get into the summer season, that can also be difficult. So we tried to.
But can you just state dates, because I'm confused as well. It looks like May 12th is a long-range planning meeting. And project prioritization for things that go, like infrastructure projects, is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because that's just a long-range planning, right?
Correct.
Okay, so the prioritization is throwing me off, just because prioritization is like.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right,
I
okay.
should have used the same wording.
That's okay, so I'm thinking that we have a long-range plan. Hopefully, we're gonna discuss things. It's not just a presentation, it's just a presentation. I think, but, okay, so we have talk, and then we go to the initiatives of the village board on the 26th, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next meeting is 6 days later, and it's more initiatives. So you have 2 prioritization meetings?
My apologies, I can delete the wording of prioritization relative to the long-range plan, but
Yep.
consistent with what we did last year. We first meet, we talk about
I agree with that.
where is this long-range plan recalibrated with the numbers where we have them before. We made some significant changes to the long-range plan this year, and so barring, I would anticipate having some additional conversation relative to Oakland, but I think that we've recalibrated enough so it's going to be checking back in on that.
Guess what?
Unless you guys decide
You're
different.
right. But can we switch, tell me switch the long-range planning so May 26th, can that be the June 15th meeting? Like, so that there's long-range, pre-long-range plan, the next meeting is the long-range plan, and then the following meeting is initiatives, prioritization, because you want your long-range plan to be done, or at least have agreement, because the first meeting last year of long-range plan was just talk. It wasn't like we prioritized anything. We needed to discuss the process and the projects and how's Oakland and the updates from DPW and from Merck, but we never got to saying what we wanted to do. So can we switch those two so we have infrastructure projects kind of agreed upon, and then we move into prioritization for initiatives?
So I'm going to engage Mark.
That's what I asked
in the
last year
discussion
too.
right now, just because of.
Well, conceptually, I don't see a problem with that. The biggest challenge is a great deal of all the data and spool ups that go into the final plan is predicated on the board's guidance for infrastructure initiatives. And that takes a significant amount of time from going from the first meeting to the second meeting to have that available in advance for the board meeting.
There's no new, it's just, I agree with Rebecca in her statement of, and I said, I was just kind of joking, but there's really no new projects that we know of that we're going to be introducing. They're all kind of in that long-range plan. So we always we talk about them, if anything's new, but then we just reshift them. And I just feel like, or if we forgot one or whatever.
Well, I'm willing to try.
We might
I
have
mean-
better numbers on like DPW. I mean, that's one
Right,
that's
right,
outstanding.
yeah,
You know, we might have some, like an actual plan for.
And then when we go to initiatives, we know those numbers. If we don't wrap up the long-range financial plan and talking about infrastructure projects, they will always creep into the initiative process. Because you don't know what the board's desire was. So I'd rather wrap it up and then move into more organizational initiatives that don't specifically deal with Oakland Avenue or Wilson Drive or big infrastructure projects. Can we try? I think Mark said we could try. Rebecca?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm fine trying.
Okay, try, sure.
Okay, and then trustee Metz is right, we might have our study and it might make it quicker.
So we would essentially change the topics from Tuesday, May 26th, or flip-flop Tuesday, May 26th with Monday, June 15th.
Yes. Yes. And the only other question, I'll wait till everyone, are we done with that one? So my question was, have we reached out to the school board and seen, tonight's presentation, they had, the superintendent asked that we coordinate at the very end with the village to do some safety initiatives, and he says it's going to take the whole village, and I do really feel strongly about that. So I'm wondering, is there any way to try to incorporate some dates ahead of time? I know we have the hardest time and just have standing agenda items that deal with, we can discuss that at our next meeting with them, but so that we're not playing that scheduling game again. I know it's hard.
Yeah, I'm just reflecting,
Well,
like maybe
Because everything else
something
is
like
in-
that would be a good thing to do. Under the village manager's report, I was gonna have a friendly reminder to those people who haven't responded to the doodle yet for the by-board meeting dates. I did need to get back to them in terms of.
Do you know who they were?
I think it was waiting
I just don't
on
remember.
trustee Bachhorst, trustee Menta, trustee McKay, I think. Or Mike, I think you were.
I replied.
Or maybe trustee, yeah, thank you. Okay, maybe trustee Ward. So I'll send that out to you again, but I did want to get a date on the calendar, and then maybe that's something we discuss as a group of board boards that are going to be present. Last week, before all, just everything that had happened, or at some point, I had also reached out to them, because we had noted some of the dates. Trustee Menta was helpful at our earlier meeting in November, mentioning the dates for the training, the equity training, and things are happening, so I've incorporated those. And as I find them throughout the year, I'll continually update the list if there are things of interest. But I think it'd be best to talk with their board in terms of what makes sense for timing.
Okay. Trustee Garber, then what?
Yeah,
Trustee Moore.
I almost wonder if we could maybe provide them at our,
Okay.
hopefully some by-board meeting,
Yeah.
with this list.
Oh,
of
sure.
sessions.
And propose dates.
So this is also a part of the reason why I'm doing it, because
That's great.
we went like in process improvement, right? So in the November meeting, we had given dates and they were out there, and then internally we continued to start scheduling meetings because we have a bunch of moving parts, So this was kind of my way to start. It looks intimidating, but I need one place. Because if not, it's continually looking at just a million calendars.
Okay, trustee Warren, then trustee Bachhorst.
I personally was like, I need to make a quick call, I'll be back in a minute and a half, I don't want to break, I just.
Yep. Go right ahead, thank you. Trustee Bachhorst.
I was just going to add to that, in the past, when we've scheduled meetings with the school board, since their meetings are the second and fourth, Tuesday, and ours are on the Monday. I mean, I like the idea of getting this schedule, but also just asking if, they do schedule special meetings. I know tonight was different, but in general, they usually schedule them on the other Tuesdays that they don't have meetings. And then we had scheduled our by-board meetings on the Mondays, so we didn't have meetings. Anyway.
Maybe just make that clarity.
Yes.
Is helpful for everyone.
Definitely, because it's hard to coordinate all this.
And we just get them on the calendar, and if we don't need them, we can cancel like we used to, but it just so that we don't have to go through that scheduling.
Oh, that's a good point. for the
Right, we used
by-board
to do
meetings
that.
on there.
And I just think we have a lot of good coordination that can happen, so there's going to be some standing agenda items, and then
Yes,
So
I would
that'd
look
be a
for the,
topic for the next by-board, maybe agreeing on a standing
I
date.
would propose some dates on this calendar.
oh, that's
And
a
then,
good idea.
and then they can react, because when we sit there, we're all like, well, how about this date? And just going off what trustee Buckner
Yeah,
said
like
about
the
those.
Tuesdays that they don't have meetings,
Like, the second, fourth, and the
first and third or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's on the
Fifth,
website.
or the Tuesday.
Okay.
One small comment.
Yes.
To February 18th, Tuesday meeting is an election day, just so
Oh.
you're aware.
Yeah, but I thought we weren't, oh, we don't know for sure.
We will. It's fine. I will be here. You can proceed without me, but,
Oh,
do
right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is an election.
And I added on after
But
this,
they-
or put in April,
Will we all be
December,
here?
but I put in.
Yeah.
I would prefer not on election day,
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say, I don't like having a board meeting on election day. As a candidate or just as a general, it's
they should be
Yeah.
having to vote,
Special
I'm having to
night.
vote.
Do you wanna put it
I'm not
on?
come here, not how they all come here, but I'm just saying in general.
So it deferred, this is a Tuesday, so typically the meeting would have been on Monday, February 17th. That is,
President's Day.
thank you, sorry. So it defers to Tuesday. So even if it's an election day, we could defer it again by the board's consent to
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's good.
I would also say that the reason, like, we can go back and change the rules about President's Day, that was added about 15 years ago. The staff still works during the day in the village.
Oh, for that Monday, we certainly
Yeah.
can do that too.
So, and I guess, I don't know if this, that, someone told me.
I'd rather take off for
President's
Veterans Day than President's Day, I don't know if we do, but I went to an ICC meeting, I was like, what?
So, right, you can do that, because that's the only thing.
I think it's an ordinance though.
You can, but no differently than we did last year, correct me if I'm wrong, but no differently than we did last year where we scheduled a second meeting in July.
Yeah.
No.
That's
Oh, I
ordinance.
see.
That's why I'm
We
coming
can
back for
change-
action.
Yeah, I'm
You just
fine with going, having board meeting on President's Day is what I'm trying to say, just to stick with the Mondays. These Tuesday meetings to me, that don't make sense.
We do
What?
Wednesday now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that instead of the Wednesday, I'd be more in favor of saying,
So do you
unless
suspend
it's hard
rules?
for staff to have an election the next day after a board meeting. If you want, probably ask for you, Sarah. But
You just tell us the process for that.
Yeah, I mean, you can either
Would
do
you
it two
rather
ways.
us
You
do a
can
meeting on
either
Monday
call it a
night before an
special
election
meeting,
or a
because there's-
Wednesday
you can do
after?
that next
Right.
week, or you can just make a motion.
Okay.
Either way. it's-
What would you prefer, Rebecca?
Either way, it's-
Suspend the rules.
Okay, so do we have to do that now?
If people are done.
No, at the end, when we do this calendar, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm okay, I'm fine with it being Monday.
We're proposing going from the 18th to the 17th.
Correct, so it means,
Just so people know I have no school
Yeah,
on
there's
that
no
day.
school that day. And I think there's no school that day before, at least the.
I did not log in.
I don't know,
No
Friday,
school
I
is the
had that
exception
there
of
is
spring
school on
break.
Friday, but
Right,
elementary sometimes has a different calendar from little one.
I see, you're like, there was no.
But anyway, it's a 3-day weekend for,
Yeah, maybe we
Does
could
it
come,
stay
maybe
up
we could look
and-
at our calendars and
Yeah, look,
maybe.
Nope, we won't adopt it tonight. I can tell by Rebecca's face without looking at her. She wants.
I'm more excited that we're having a discussion and that people feel aggrieved, but I would ask that we get something, because I need to take this then.
I'm okay with just sticking with Wednesday this year, but if it happens again, maybe next year, put it on President's.
Well, it's always gonna be, President's Day is always.
It's always.
Yeah, so next year, just know we're okay with it as long as there's school, I mean, school's hard, when school's out.
Is it is the group okay with having it happen on
Wednesdays?
a no school day?
I'm fine with that.
what was, oh, the 18th is election.
I'm okay
day.
with that, fine,
Yeah.
too, it's just the little kids.
I don't have plans to be out of town at this point, so I mean, yeah, why don't we just go for the 17th, but I'm okay with that.
I'm okay.
okay.
I'm hearing consensus from the group.
No, I'm not going out of town or anything.
Yeah, it's easier.
Okay. Any other additions? Maybe next year you can put the no school days on here, that'd be great.
Yeah, I could
Do you know how many?
Oh, never mind, or just attach it, maybe just attach the calendar or something, just
Yeah.
so double reference it.
There's like,
Yeah, Packer games.
Okay.
Yeah, we're incorporating the Brewers and the Packers. Trick or treat. Maybe we'll just like a permanent
PGA tournament.
Can you think it's my phone too? Yeah.
Okay, all right, do you have anything else? Any other further discussion? If not, we are going to consider this meeting schedule for the following year, if we have a
I
motion.
move to consider.
Oh, wait, do we need to suspend the rules?
Yeah, when your consideration motion, you'll also request to suspend the rules to allow a meeting to occur on Monday, February 17th.
So you want to do that first? And then adopt the
I
calendar?
think you put it as a part of this whole motion.
Yeah, just,
Second.
Okay, so the motion was,
To
The
consider the
2020
schedule.
meeting schedule and annual planner and to request to suspend the rules to allow a meeting to occur on Monday, February 17th.
is it by suspending the rules to allow? Is it by, like,
That sounds wonderful.
I think it is, but I don't know. Okay, so I would go with
Yeah,
by
I
suspending the
don't-
rules.
I think basically you just say, I move to have a meeting on that day, and we'll know which meeting, under
Okay.
55-24.
The only reason I'm asking is suspending the rules you have to do first. It's a different motion, isn't it? You have to suspend the rules and then make a motion.
But in this case, the rule is about specifically about when meetings are to take place in July and August. You have.
Do you know what I'm saying, though, please?
Yeah, I do, right.
Usually you have to say, we move to suspend the rules, and then you make a motion that would conflict with those rules.
I mean, if you had division on that or something, I mean, if this wasn't gonna be a.
Okay, but so that, all right, so by
Yeah, I
suspending
mean,
the
if there
rules.
was a debate.
Okay, as long as it passes by
Heavily contested,
3/4.
that would-
I could go down if you have a 3/4 vote, is all I'm saying.
You're
Because it's
you're
suspending the rule.
absolutely right.
Okay, I would have normally separated them, but as long as it says the word by suspending the rules,
Yep.
I'm good. So can you read us the resolution
Yep,
for the motion?
To approve the 2020 meeting schedule and annual planner, and by suspending the rules to allow a meeting to occur on Monday, February 17th, 2020.
We have a motion by trustee Maher and a second by trustee Bachhorst.
No.
Carpenter. Any further discussion? Do we need a roll call vote for this, for suspending the rules or no? Okay, so we need 3/4 of the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Are we doing C? Are we deferring C? What are we doing?
It's just discussion, not consideration.
Oh, okay. All right. What is the board would like to do? It is past 10 o'clock. I always ask, do we want to have discussion tonight? Do we want to defer to the next meeting? It doesn't matter to me.
I mean, I think we can deal with it pretty quickly,
Okay.
actually. I mean, I know Rebecca wrote the item, but
Okay, so let's just announce it, hold on. So now we're gonna take up 9C, discuss waiving the special privilege application fee for holiday displays at Atwater Park for this holiday season. Trustee Menta. And then trustee.
I would just say, if we do have any applications for holiday displays, not at the park, but in the public right-of-way, adjacent to the park, which would be allowed to have a special privilege permit, I would suggest that when it will still come to the board, and we would still have to approve the special privilege permit, and we could just waive the fee at that time.
Okay, and anything else about, is that it?
I mean, I did also look at the GIS this afternoon, and there's actually quite a large section of right-of-way, kind of as Capitol comes into Lake and across Lake, this is all right-of-way. So,
Oh, I see.
yeah, so there's quite an area of right-of-way. I mean, I don't know that anyone has any plans to put up anything, but, you know, if someone does, there's a lot of
There's a lot of
right-of-way available there. But, you know, I mean, we'll just have to see what happens. I don't know of anyone who's planning to at this point.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have anything to add? Okay, so we don't need to do anything, correct, right, at this moment?
Yeah, I'll move that we,
Can we do move?
It's almost only for discussion, okay, that's fine, there's no motion, okay.
Okay, but I think we have pretty much
Yeah.
understanding. Okay. Reports of village officials. I just wanted to let, for the village president, two things. One's listed, but just wanted to let you know that at the board, we have a lot of special privilege applications, and more than once we've asked for the planning director to look at any type of triple fee for not getting a special privilege beforehand. They're, asking for a policy and an ordinance, and most of it overlaps, so could we combine them? Some minor things like what can administration approve, which, another community calls them minor special privileges, whereas major ones, like, requires a shovel to move. So minor is, you could knock it down without any type of, it's not fixed anywhere like a plant, but the major ones would not be administrative approved. So those types of things, asking about a survey and when that's required in a special privilege permit application. I thought it was, so anyways, I had asked as the chair of plan commission if we could take that up to recommend, just make a recommendation to the village board. And so we started that conversation last week, and I think it's gonna take multiple sessions to get a good recommendation, and then we'll take it up with the board if the board desires that. So it's really interesting, and I'm really proud of all our planning commissioners because the questions that are being asked are outstanding. And the only other thing I wanted to mention is tonight there was as everyone knows now, there was a forum a community forum hosted by the school district on safety of the children and some protocol issues, or not issues, protocol questions that were asked. And the first, I think, half hour, so Trustee Carper and I did attend, so there was village representation there. Chief Nimmer, after I texted him, did acknowledge that we were there, so the public knew that we were there. And it went pretty well. The questions were submitted ahead of time, and there was about 30 minutes for question and answers. The answer to the question that I had asked was, and I think Trustee Carper, you left right before, but the one I had submitted was, did you have a copy of the emergency management plan? And it was clear they have protocols, but not a plan. So I'm hoping that we can talk about that at by board and see if we can move forward with the police and because we both respond to those as a village and a school district. Potentially, if the board would like, we can put it on a by board meeting to see if we can get some collaboration on communication. Really is one of the things that emergency management plans deal with. So I'll be requesting that, and we'll see if that's something the board wants to take up at a future date. I think that was it.